Hey guys, this is KSP with Tape, and today you join me for the fourth installment of KSP Dogfights, and today we are in Vietnam, and we are flying an F4A, F4 Phantom, which is the initial F4 Phantom, the American jet that was used in the Vietnam War. And the interesting thing about this jet is it doesn't have any guns, it just has missiles, and we're going to try and take on 3 MiG-21s. Pretty easy for someone with missiles these days. Well, not easy, obviously. I think I underestimate how good a job our fighter pilots do. But yes, anyway, you'll see that I have AIM-9s and AIM-120s. That's not actually particularly accurate, because in Vietnam they had AIM-7 missiles, which just weren't very good. They had a hit rate of 17%, and I'm going to try and simulate that today. I've put better countermeasures on the MiG-21s than they would really have. I've just dispatched an AIM-120, which are very accurate missiles, and I get a kill. They were actually quite good in Vietnam. The radar-guided missiles, they work quite well. But I'm trying to point out the uselessness of the AIM-7s, and I'm actually using AIM-9s, and you can see I've given the MiG-21s very good countermeasures, which they didn't really have, but these AIM-9s are much better than the AIM-7 Sparrows, so that's how I'm trying to simulate it. But anyway, I let loose an AIM-7, I'm going to call it, and it misses, totally not because of countermeasures and bad aiming. But yeah, that's another way I'm simulating bad missiles, is by aiming kind of not very well. But anyway, so, yes, we are going to try and take on these MiGs. We took out one with a very trusty AIM-120, but we only have 2 of them, so it would be nice if we could get some more shots on target, some shots on target with these AIM-7s. But another one dispatches and is misled by a flare. We're not sure where the other MiG-21 is right now, but it is somewhere behind us. So let's hope that doesn't sneak up on us, because that actually does have guns. It had a 23mm GSH cannon, which I've simulated somewhat, I think with a 20mm cannon in... oh no, I think it actually is a 23mm cannon. But anyway, we let loose another AIM-7 and it misses, as they always did. And I'm having a bit of trouble now because the other jet has opened fire, so I'm having to break from firing at this MiG, this MiG to deal with this other MiG. Yeah, they are also equipped with missiles. They have something similar to AIM-7s. They weren't super effective, I don't think. I don't actually know a ton about them, but they were basically just the Russian versions of AIM-7s, effectively. But yes, so the other 2 are still alive, and we have 2 missiles, so we need 2 hits. But it seems rather unlikely considering the lack of effectiveness of these simulated AIM-7s. So yeah, that final AIM-7 misses, and we are down to just 1 AIM-20, which I think I can get to hit, because they were actually pretty effective, because the radar-guided missiles, I'm not entirely sure of the reasons, but they did quite well. And you can see I have equipped these jets with probably more countermeasures than they actually had to simulate the terribleness of old missiles. Yes, so the point of this little bit is, don't just rely on guns. No, don't just rely on missiles, because sometimes that doesn't work, although these days you probably just could. But yes, I managed to get the bore sight open. I'm right behind this MiG-21. I've got my AIM-120 prepped, although I'm a little too close, really, to fire a medium-range missile. So I brake left to avoid this gunfire, and I'm hoping that I can get a shot around when the MiG has gone a little further away and get a kill in there. And then I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that other MiG, because I don't have any other weapons because I'm out of missiles. It's nice to bring a gun, is what I'm saying. Yeah, because even the most modern jets, the F-22s, I mean, not that the F-22 is a particularly good jet, but anyway, even that has, it's hyper-modern, and that still has a cannon on it. There's a Vulcan cannon that only has like 3 seconds of gunfire, but it could still do some damage. Anyway, so we let loose the final AIM-120, and it finds its mark, and that is that dead. But now I'm rather worried, because I'm out of weapons, and this MiG-21 really is not. You can see my cockpit looks kind of janky on this jet. That's just a tweak scale thing, because this is a little scaled up. This model that I built looks kind of somewhat like a F4 Phantom. It's not a great rendition, but it looks good enough, although those intakes look terrible because as I've said, the cockpit has shrunk. But yes, this MiG-21 just unleashed a bunch of gunfire on me and a little more, and it doesn't seem to be finding its mark, actually, which is surprising. In testing, it was quite good at cutting me up. But yeah, it just won't let loose, so my idea here is just to dodge until it's out of ammo. And there goes another missile. To dodge one of those missiles is quite difficult. You have to turn off your afterburners and drop flares, because they're heat-seeking, so if you have afterburners on, the flares won't really deflect it, so you've got to do both, and I learned that the hard way. And there goes another AIM-9. I'm surprised that it's firing AIM-9s in this range, and then I realized that means it's out of ammo, and because these are simulated AIM-7s, these just won't hit me, because I have good countermeasures. So yeah, you can see it's totally out of ammo, and you can get a quick look at the MiG-21 there. I'm quite proud of that. It's a delta wing design, used in quite a few conflicts. Pretty good jet. Both of these did have afterburning engines, which are nice. I'm actually using the gimbally ones from KSP, but I've just turned the gimbal off because there wasn't actually any gimbal in their engines that I know of, at least. But yes, if you can see here that I could easily get behind this, and if I had a gun, I could probably put an end to this fight, but I don't. And we're both out of ammo, because our missiles failed and I was just good enough at dodging bullets. So yes, we should upgrade our jets to the F4E, which is the F4 Phantom E, which actually finally had something akin to a... I don't think it was a Gatling cannon, I've forgotten exactly, but maybe I'll look it up in the transition. But yes, so let's move on to that for a proper big battle that I like to do. Okay, so here we are in the space plane hangar, taking a look at the planes, and I thought I'd start with the F4 Phantom, and this is the E model, which actually has a Vulcan turret on the front, which we will be fighting with in a second, well, using to fight in a second, and here it is, looking slightly less janky than usual, although I could kind of see how it would look better if these had been moved in a bit. Yeah, I think that's how it's supposed to look. Anyway, yeah, so this is just a very slightly scaled up set of parts so that the missiles look less janky on it. And yeah, I just pretty much went for, I'm using procedural wings to make the wings look roughly like the, like the plane. You know, the wing, I think the wings look pretty good. The engine placement's a little off because I couldn't get a proper sized tail, but overall, you know, I think it looks reasonably good. It has all of these countermeasures, which I don't think the F4 Phantom actually had, but it made the missiles more realistic, so yeah. And then here we have, its armament is just 2 AMRAAMs, 4 AIM-9 simulated to be AIM-7 Sidewinders, although these would be AIM-7 Sparrows, and then 1 Vulcan turret with 1 box of ammo, and that's pretty much it. Yes, pretty simple plane. Took me a little while to get looking sort of nice. And the engine's being angled down. That looks like it what looked like what it was in the pictures, but I'm not really sure. And I did just try and get the body to look somewhat F4 Phantom-y. But yes, that is my rendition. Let's look at the MiG-21, which is here. Should be just below the MiG-15, yes. Here we go. Yes, the MiG-21, a delta wing single-engined afterburning design that was used, well, built by the Russians and was used in Vietnam. And you can see I've kind of, if you look at pictures of the MiG-21 behind the cockpit, it sort of looks raised up, and from a distance, this does look quite MiG-21-y, but from here, it not quite so much. It looks, yeah, you can kind of see from here that it does look more MiG-21-y the further you zoom out. And the wings look, I think they look relatively similar to a MiG-21. Fought in a lot of combats, fought in the 6 Days War and stuff. But yeah, anyway, this is once again armed with a 20mm Vulcan turret, Vulcan cannon even, because I don't think there is a realistic 23mm cannon in here. I think there might be a... Yeah, I don't think there even is 23mm. Yeah, oh, there is. Let me see if that would have been better. Oh yeah, here we go. It's, yeah. Anyway, this just wasn't, didn't have the correct rate of fire, really. So I went for a 20mm Vulcan turret to match the, well, it's the GSH-23, I think it's called. Which, yeah, actually, I probably should have. I'm recording this after the whole recording, but I probably should have gone for, this thing, actually, probably. But anyway, I didn't. So, yeah, that's why I made all of those choices. But yes, anyway, let's move on to the final battle. So yes, here we are, as per usual, on the island runway to do an attack on the KSC. We have 3 F4 Phantom E's here, and they are armed with a, they're actually armed with a Vulcan turret, with a Vulcan cannon even, which is actually quite similar to what the real F4 Phantom E had. It had a, it did have a Vulcan cannon, which I think dispensed about 6,000 to 8,000 rounds a second. But yes, these the F4 Phantom was originally designed to shoot down nuclear bombers, or maybe even drop small nuclear payloads. So it was never really designed for, you know, intense dogfighting. But then Vietnam came along, and there was just this awful thing where the pilots weren't really trained to dogfight because they had too much of a reliance on missiles. The heat-seeking missiles hardly worked, and sometimes, I mean, radar-guided missiles you know, miss because of chaff and stuff, although I'm not sure they actually had chaff in that. That's something I'm actually kind of unclear about. But yeah, so they had to come up with something new, really, and that's how the F-15 came about. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, I am quite pleased with how these came out, and I really like how the MiG-21s look. They look a little janky, but from far away they look kind of like MiG-21s. But yes, we get this beautiful shot of us flying in formation with the F-4 Phantoms. I do like how they look with the curved up wings and the kind of curved down, the kind of slanted down tailplane, and it really sucks that the cockpits kind of shrank when I quick save and stuff, because now it looks really janky from the front. But you know, I think you can see in the other ones their cockpits are the right sizes. But anyway, cutting ahead, here we are getting into range. The MiG-21s, 4 of them down there, all primed. Although I have to say, even though I was saying in the last one, I did take on 3 MiGs and killed 2 and didn't die. So this wasn't a great demonstration of missiles not working, but you do get my point. I don't actually have AIM-7s in this. But yes, we are gonna let the MiGs take off a little bit, otherwise this is a little unfair. Then I'm going to unleash the Hounds, which, well, I'll call these, I guess. But yeah, I really like the look of these planes, just in general. I mean, the real ones, and these ones, actually. Just the 2 engines kind of underneath something looks nice, and the wings. I don't know. It's just quite a pretty looking plane. It's powerful. But anyway, I release them, and they break right and low. So I follow suit, prime an AIM-120, which is the radar-guided missile. Someone very loudly driving past my house. That's probably in the video now for eternity. Great. But yes, this is a medium-range missile, and it's very effective and very accurate. And even it's actually simulated quite well in this. It's quite hard to dodge one of these AMRAAMs. So yeah, we're going to just dispense that and watch it go. One of my wingmen has let go an AIM-9, or I guess a simulated AIM-7. And it actually looks like it found its mark. That's incredible for one of them. And there goes another one. But yes, that's already one down. That's a lucky shot. I guess that's the 17%. And there goes my AIM-120. And that's a kill for me. Yes, missiles do make things much easier than the previous episodes where I've been forced to just use guns. But I will be trying to use my cannons because it's more interesting. And the whole point of this video is bring a fucking gun, man. Although these days I think there's like 3% of kills in dogfights take place with guns, but it just makes sense to have them. It's like, okay, it's a little more weight and stuff, but just bring a gun. Anyway, so yes, there's a MiG-21 on my left. So I'm going to try and pull across and get behind it and put guns to its engines. They're a single-engined Delta Wing design, and they were actually reasonably effective jets, actually. But by the end of the war, there was quite a heavy kill-to-death ratio, kill-to-kill ratio from the Americans to the Vietnamese. Yeah, so I'm trying to open fire on this and just trying to unleash lead, but it's not doing too much. As you can see, I'm missing. But I'm staying behind it quite well. I think these ones that I've designed in game are actually slightly more maneuverable than these F4 Phantoms, but the F4s are faster, which is nice, and have more armament. Those MiGs only carry 4 simulated AIM-7s is what I'm going to call them. Still, whereas these carry AIM-120s, AIM-7s and cannons. And there goes another MiG-21. Yes, there's already been another kill. That leaves 1 for no deaths of F4 Phantoms. It may be a bit unfair that we got to get those first missiles in, but still. Anyway, but I really want to kill with my gun, so I almost called off my other guys, but I thought it would be a bit unfair. I thought it would be a bit of a contest to see who could kill the last MiG-21. So yeah, let's just try and get in. You can see the jet's just so close to me. That's such a great shot. I love that. I love the stuff you get in. So I actually throw off my afterburners here, so I drop behind the MiG as I was going to overtake it, and that's so not what you want in a dogfight. You want to stay behind them. But yes, you can see they're all plunging in, trying to open fire. They actually seem to be pretty terrible at shooting today, the AI. And the MiG-21 goes low like a crazy and tries to evade us, but I am right on its tail, and I am pulling my guns up to it and opening fire poorly, but I am staying nicely behind it. It appears to try and do a small, almost like a split S actually, but it doesn't manage to get away from us. My friend's opening fire and doing nothing, and I get a shot, and I think that's a kill, but it's not. The plane is still flying. I apparently hit something not that useful, and a missile flies past me, but it doesn't matter because I get the kill. My bullets slam into the back of the engine, so my friends almost shoot me. And yeah, so we dispatched them with ease. By the end of the Vietnam War, I hear someone told me, well, I think it was actually Penguin who told me that the 10-to-1 kill ratio in Korea was largely propaganda. But I do hear that at the start of the Vietnam War, the kill-to-death ratio was pretty much equal in like 1-to-1 in fights. Oh, and here I just decided to kind of go after my friends for almost shooting me, and just because I thought I might as well. A little fun because I killed those guys so quickly. But yeah, by the end, the kill-to-death ratio was back up to something more acceptable. I'm not sure exactly, because obviously the US Air Force is going to be like, yeah, it was 10-to-1, man. It's like, where are all those planes? We didn't want them, man. But maybe not. But yeah, because, well, I mean, the thing is obviously the missiles didn't work particularly well, and also, oh shit, he's unleashed an AIM-9 on me. Oh, but I'm gonna dodge just in time. The missiles didn't work particularly well, and there was too much of a reliance on missiles, so the pilots weren't really trained to dogfight. But yeah, by the end that had all changed, and yeah, the air superiority was given back to the F-4 Phantoms. So yeah, let's just take a look at some of the cool shots I got from this little engagement. Yeah, so here when chasing one of the other F-4s, I get this cool shot of it tumbling and getting really close to me, and I can see its underbelly, and I just really like this, kind of being so close to this jet while it tumbles. Yeah, I just really love some of the shots you get in KSP when you're trying to dogfight, which is probably not what most people do, but I seem to have to make the game violent to enjoy it. No, that's not true. But yeah, anyway, after that, I did manage to chase this one into the ocean. I managed to force it down into the ocean. I'm like, what a moron! He crashes into the ocean, and then I try to pull off and crash into the ocean. So anyway, I've won this engagement. I do have one plane left after, crashing the others into the ocean. So I decided to take it and land it nicely on the runway, and we'll, yeah, just claim the KSC as ours. We have taken it from the Vietnamese. We have saved the world from communism, which apparently means dictatorships in America's book. I don't know why. I mean, yeah, they usually seem to be dictatorships, but, I mean, communism doesn't equal dictatorship. Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. But anyway, here we are on the runway, and you can see the importance of bringing guns to a dogfight. Not literally shooting it. Well, what's wrong with you, man? But anyway, yes, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you will come back for the next episode, where I think we'll be doing the Falklands, which will be some Harrier jump jets taking off from some aircraft carriers, and maybe if I update it to 1.1, if I can, I'll be able to. I'll actually have some proper attacking of carriers and things, but I'm not sure. But yes, the next one will be the Falklands, and it will be various Dassaults and copies of Dassaults, Dassault Mirages, and 3s and 5s and things, and yeah, those will take on some Harriers. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you'll come back for that next episode. This has been KSP Tape. I will see you next time.